Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Index 3, Chapter 21, or Toaru Majutsu no Index 3, Episode 21. So I really enjoyed today's episode. I thought it was really good. As the past few have been, this arc's really been heating up, and I feel like though things are pretty sped up, pretty expedited, it hasn't felt like, oh man, we're just skipping over things and I have no idea what's going on. It's really difficult to keep up with everything, but it's possible. So, yeah, I thought it was good. Let's start from the beginning and discuss this, because there are a lot of really good moments to discuss. Starting from the beginning, the Pope is still alive. We get to see he speaks to someone called Vasilissa. I don't believe we've seen them before, but I think maybe Vasilissa, the name, is based on Basilica or whatever. Like the Basilica of St. Peter is, I think, the one that the Pope stays in. So yeah, that might be what her name is based on. But we see her basically for the first time that I can remember. We have Iwas speaking to, oh god, am I going to forget her name? Is her name Kawakami? It's something similar to that. Something similar to Kawakami, I think. I don't really remember her name though. She was important with like being the AIM being or whatever. But either way, they bring up another being similar to her in Russia, Misha Krustsev, which I think was a name that we had got into during the Angel Fall arc. Kawakami does threaten Iwas though if he hurts any of her friends. Aqua then wipes out a whole freaking privateer base that was going after that village. I love Aqua. I really feel like Aqua has become one of my favorite characters in the series. It's just so cool to see him whenever he's on screen. So yeah, Aqua was awesome. The Academy City forces start marching into the area, and Hamazura makes the decision that he and Taketsubo have to leave. They're not going to fight back, and even Aqua's like, aren't they enemies too? Or you're not going to fight back? But he brings up that the best thing to do to protect them from what Russia's doing is to let Academy City take over the place, and Academy City has all these resources they can use to defend the village. So while Hamazura isn't going to be able to stay there, at least the village will be safe. So they have to leave from there. Accelerator then has a magic blueprint, is what he learns the thing he has is. He kills some spies that are hanging around, and the blueprint seems to be for a Roman spell in the Russian style, but the one guy he's speaking with tells him that Elizalina should be able to read it for him. Hamazura then is running from the Academy City forces when he's saved by Accelerator, who he then gives info to about what's going on. They all meet up with Elizalina, who says that she can save Taketsubo, so that's good. She can save Taketsubo, everything's going to be alright there, but it's different for Last Order, because Last Order is constantly accumulating toxins in her body, so even if she heals her now, she'll just accumulate more. She can treat her, but she isn't a permanent cure. Then Accelerator says he tells Worst that she's going to have to work with him, because if she doesn't, she's going to just end up being exactly like him. Because Academy City wants them both to kind of be doing the same thing, doing this dirty work for them. And at the end of the day, she's going to do all this and just end up sad, broken, and betrayed. So she needs to team up with him. He also brings up again what he's been going on with for the past few episodes, where he's saying that being evil just doesn't work anymore. Like he's been saying for the past two episodes, being evil doesn't work anymore, because he thought of being evil as kind of an easy way of rebellion against Academy City, but instead of rebelling against Academy City, it was kind of exactly what they wanted, and he was just doing what they wanted. And that's going to be the same for Worst. So all of that was good and all. There was a bit of things that were like, it's not quite that simple, you know? There's a lot of nuance that it's really hard to describe in a review, but in general, I like the character progression being taken, and I like that that's also being passed on to Misaka Worst, who I love as a character. She is really entertaining thus far. We then see that Russia and Academy City are fighting at Fiamma's base, and they're wondering, hey, why is it so easy to do all this? Why was it so easy to get here and everything? And it's because Fiamma's just been luring Toma the whole time. The spies that they had captured tell Misaka Worst that Russia was always planning to use the war to attack Elizalina and the Elizalina alliance anyway. And then Accelerator brings up that what he needs to do is go to the Russian base near the border because that's where the plans were going, which means that there had to have been somebody there waiting to read them. So that's his next idea of where to go. I was thinking this might mean that Elizalina was betraying them since she has the ability to read them that we had established earlier, but I think maybe that's not what they're getting at and I'm just reading a little too much into it. Then we learn from Style that there is actually a second magical controller like the one that Fiamma has, and Laura has been using it to interfere with Fiamma and his plans. Which, again, I don't know if that really makes her a bad guy. It makes her kind of like not that trustworthy, but at the same time she's interfering with the bad guy's plans, so if it's a kind of sketchy person who is going against the bad guy, does that mean they're a bad person also, or are they just a sketchy good person? So yeah, not sure where I stand on Laura right now, except that she is best girl. But either way, Fiamma then, his signal disappears. He's talking to somebody who wants to take over his head of the Russian Orthodoxy. So whoever he's talking to, he's not working alone, he's working with somebody who is probably pretty influential and powerful as well. So the person mentions that, where are you, your signal's missing and all that. So Fiamma reveals where he is by creating this massive floating island. Misaka is on her way to go to the war when she sees the island and Toma there at it. So that's where she ends up as well. And then at the end she meets up with Misaka 10777. So again, more Misakas being introduced. I thought it was all really good. The character development was great. I think there is so much going on and so quickly that it is a bit difficult to keep up with everything. But on the other hand, the good thing about it all is something that I've always praised the series for, and a reason it's like the Toaru series is possibly my favorite of all time, or at least up there, is because there's this really wide and large cast that all have individual character development that's not really tied into Toma. Like, Accelerator's development here, I mean, Toma was a part of it last episode, but mostly Accelerator's going through his own thing, Misaka Worst is going through her own thing, Hamazura, Misaka, Aqua of the Back, even characters like more minor like Laura and Elizalina, or more major characters like Style, I guess. We have all these different characters going through their own stories and own development, so not everything just revolves around Toma. He's not the end-all be-all. There are other characters whose stories are important too, and though they connect with his a little bit, they're very much mostly separate from his. So yeah, all of that was really, really good. Like, Hamazura and Toma stories have been almost entirely separate thus far, except for their one meeting, which wasn't even really that huge a deal at the time. So, yeah, all of it is really, really good, and I've enjoyed it all. And as a score, because it was so good, again, the review's kind of short because there isn't much to criticize. Most all of it was really, really great. And again, the only criticism I would have is that it's a little bit difficult to keep up with because of how quickly everything's being done. I wouldn't even call it rushed at this stage, like it maybe was earlier in the season. I think it's gotten a lot better at that. So yeah, 9.25 Misakas out of 10 because there's so many going on. Another reason I'm keeping this kind of short is because my throat's hurting really badly. But I'm pushing through recording stuff like I was yesterday and like I was earlier today. So I hope you did enjoy the video, though. Like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more. Toaru Majutsu no Index 3, much more on the channel. Sorry this one is a bit short. And not super in-depth, but I'm not really sure what more I could go in-depth on. It was just really good in every way that I mentioned it was good. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us about this series or anything else, just ask and I can give you a link, and then we can all talk on Discord. So yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.